Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing today? This is Madam. I am coming to you with an update about Flint. We all know that in Michigan there is a water crisis. It has been for a long time. There has been pending lawsuits and things of that nature. It just has been a really terrible mess. A lot of people got sick. A lot of people died because the Flint water was tainted, and people, rightfully so, do not still trust to drink the water, even though they switched it back over to its original water source back in 2015. So let's get into this article. It's by CBS News. And it says Michigan Attorney General announces a $600 million settlement for victims of Flint water crisis. Okay. It says Michigan has agreed to a preliminary settlement of $600 million to victims of the 2014 Flint water crisis, which the majority of the money going to the settlement claims filed on the behalf of children. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel announced the agreement on Thursday and said the state's governor said it was reached last week. People in Flint have protested for years over unsafe amounts of lead in their drinking water. Although the state claims Flint's water quality has met federal standards for 3 years running, many residents do not trust the officials and don't trust the water. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. They should feel that way. You know? One Flint resident told CBS this week that no amount of money will heal the suffering of those impacted by the city's water, by the city's health crisis, and the coronavirus pandemic had just made their situation worse. Craig Davis has lived in Flint his whole life and says that the report settlements aren't worth nothing. Money don't equal health. It don't. You could be rich and die. It ain't the same. Exactly. It's almost like we got PTSD with the water because we don't really drink it comfortably. Like, you know what I'm saying? People actually lost their lives to it, Davis said. He is also a coronavirus survivor and says he and his neighbor are struggling to deal with both issues at the same time. Now you got people who are taking extra money out of their pockets and just going to the grocery store and just buying up water at the grocery store, Davis said. But you add on the pandemic and now the water's not even there to even grab. Okay? The water crisis started in 2014 when as a cost-cutting measure, officials switched the city's water source from Lake Huron to the Flint River, but the water was improperly treated, enabled lead and other chemicals from the pipes to leach into the water supply. The city switched back to its original water source in 2015. CBS was on the ground in Flint for months at the height of the water crisis. We heard firsthand from parents how they believed their tainted water affected their children. My heart breaks because the fact of the matter is, I handed them the glass of water. One parent said, when I heard my son get up at night and cry because his bones hurt, and there's nothing I can give him, there's nothing I can do for him to take away his pain. I feel completely helpless. Tens of thousands of plaintiffs are said to be set to receive payout as part of the settlement. Flint's mayor Sheldon Nestle said he hopes the settlement provides some sense of victory for the families. It allows Flint residents to move forward in a positive way, getting out of the mindset of being victims, but more as victors, Neely said. And that's where excuse me. And that's where we need to move as a community. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer released a statement on the statement saying, in part, we acknowledge that this statement may not completely provide all the Flint's needs, and that many will still feel justifiable frustration with a system and structure that at times is not acquainted to fully address what has happened to people in Flint over the last 6 years. We hear and respect those voices and understand that healing Flint will take a long time, but our ongoing efforts in today's settlement announced are an important step in helping all of us move forward. And there is a correction. This story has been updated to remove an incorrect estimate for the money average amount of each Flint residents would receive. So I guess they took that part out. That's really nobody's business in the first place. But I am very glad to see that finally the people of getting some type of help in regards to that. It's sad that they had to sue them. They shouldn't have done that. They should have taken precautions, all the precautions in the world. And if you're not aware, a lot of people that were affected in Flint, Michigan, were people, mostly people that were, I guess, middle class and low income. Mainly low income, I believe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but it's really terrible to think, just giving your child a glass of water would impact them to the point to where as though you have to hear them at night get up and cry because their bones hurt because there's so much lead in the water. It's really terrifying to think that actually happened in real life and people had to suffer through that, and that it is a very real thing. Coupled with the pandemic, as the gentleman said in the news article, it's heartbreaking to think and to survive Corona but not totally be free of it, because you have fears about, if you drink water, it can kill you. So it's a lot. But I'm happy that they are seeking some type of help, even if it is in the form of a lawsuit and monetary settlement. Just like the guy said, you could be rich and die. You can't take it with you. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please don't forget to